Starting off in the number 5 spot of the best budget gaming chair on Amazon is the Best Office Home Office Chair. Coming in at around only 40 bucks, you can check this chair out or any of the 5 down below. There's Amazon links for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. Now you're gonna think, well, that's not a gaming chair. And I've actually had a ton of experience with high-end chairs like Herman Miller's, as well as gaming chairs, race style gaming chairs, and all of those. And really what it comes down to is that the majority of gaming centered chairs are actually really bad for you. They promote really bad posture and can lead to a lot of chronic pain. And so what you'll find is that actually your traditional office chair, which has the exact same purpose, is actually a much better option. Okay, so let's continue talking about this Best Office one. Now the build quality is better than I expected for the price, because remember, it's only like 40 bucks, which is crazy. Now the majority of this is made from a dense plastic, making this pretty light. The flip side is it's quite easy to move around if you're constantly moving between maybe an Xbox setup and a PC gaming setup. Now the seat cushion is fairly firm, but not in a bad way, because it's surprisingly supportive and it's not uncomfortable to sit for long periods of time. The armrests feel solid, although they're not at the perfect height for me, but overall the build quality is really good for the price. I really wasn't expecting much, and well, this feels quite good. Now the comfort here is actually much better than I expected. The seat cushion, as I said, feels very nice even after long gaming sessions, because you never have that bottom out feeling how there isn't enough foam left, there isn't enough padding left. You never get that feeling, which is really good. But the backrest is the really impressive part, with a mesh design that gives a little when leaning back into it. And it actually has some lumbar support, which is very impressive, and it feels quite good. Now, the overall back is not super tall. It's not as tall as the other ones on the list, but again, you have to excuse it for the price point because it's very affordable. Now, adjustability here is exactly what you'd expect from this price point, having height adjustability from the lowest at 17 inches to the top of that seat cushion, all the way up to 21 inches. You also have tension adjustability with the tension when leaning back or, well, coming forward, so how you kind of rest, so that's nice. But those are the only adjustabilities. You only have the height and the tension. Now the color options here are huge, so if you did want to match your setup, you can definitely do that, having black, blue, green, gray, orange, pink, red, and even white. Overall, if you're on a tight budget, this is extremely hard to go wrong with. But let's move on to the number 4 spot, which is a chair from Smug, coming in at a price tag of $71.10. Now the build quality here gets a little bit more premium, having an all metal base, which is actually very impressive. Moving up the chair, the majority of the frame is made from a high density plastic, but it seems very solid. Not likely at all to break, which is something that is a real concern around these price points. Trust me, when we went through a lot of different chairs. The seat cushion here is wrapped in a high quality crisscross fabric, which is a very soft cushion, which I do appreciate, but there's a little bit of an asterisk there. This also has armrests, and the only complaint here with the build is that because the armrests are 2 pieces for the top, in some areas they do squeak a little bit. Now they don't feel like they're gonna break, they just, well, have a little bit of a squeak in certain little areas. Now comfort here is really good, especially the backrest. Only complaint here is, and this was the asterisk with that seat cushion, the seat cushion is very soft, but it has a tendency to slightly bottom out. So for long periods of time, 3 hours, you will kind of notice kind of your butt going numb. Not like numb, but it's not as good as some of the other chairs on the list, including the number 5 spot. That seat cushion was quite good. Now adjustability here gets a step up, not only having height adjustability from 18 inches to 22 inches, but this one also adds flip up armrests. Now this is great for 2 reasons. One, if you just don't want armrests there, you can just play without having armrests in your way. But the second reason, which I really like, is that you can store this way under your desk and saves a ton of space in your room. So if you do have a smaller room or you just want space, it's really easy to flip those armrests on, push that thing all the way under your desk, and you save a ton of space there. Now for color options, you get to choose from either black or gray on white. And those are the 2. This is overall a great option with more features, a higher back, while still maintaining a very affordable price tag. But with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot, which comes from Flash Furniture. This comes in around 150 bucks, although the prices do change on these. So again, check the links below for current pricing. The build quality here is quite good, with the majority being made of high quality plastics, Some wood for the base of the chair. You can't really see that, but it's kind of under where you sit. But this feels very, very solid without being too heavy. The chair overall is a large chair, so if you're a taller person or just a bigger person, this is definitely a good option. The design makes this look very expensive, and overall, probably my favorite looking chair out of the whole list. The seat cushion here is nice and supportive. It also has a dip to it, making you sit more in the chair and in the cushion rather than on the chair. Now, comfort here is really good as the chair almost hugs you in, like I was saying. The arm pads are also padded, which is nice. And the seat cushion is squishy, but also supportive and doesn't bottom out. That's the important part, because for those long gaming sessions, you do not want a seat cushion that's bottomed out. Now, adjustability here is good, having height adjustability from 17 inches to 21.5 inches. Also having the leaning tension, and also like the last one, having those flip up armrests, which is again, great for storing, or if you just don't wanna have those armrests there, well, it's great. But I can't overdo the space saving with having those flip up armrests. So nice to be able to just put that all the way under your desk. I really do appreciate that. All right, now for color options, there's a bunch having black, blue, green, gray, orange, purple, red, and white. Now, obviously, I like the white. I think the white looks really, really, really cool. It looks kind of spaceshipy and definitely the most like gamery looking chair out there. Obviously, it could fit a bunch of different setups, but definitely very, very gamery looking. I really, really like the way this looks. Overall, a great chair for a more premium budget option, and definitely the best looking chair on the list. But with that, let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is a chair from Ballus. Coming in at a price tag of $199.99. The build quality here is fantastic, with super thick plastic. This thing is definitely the heaviest chair on the list, but it's still easy to roll around because of those wheels. I think there's 6 of them, but the build quality is definitely a very high tier. The armrests feel great. The seat cushion is fantastic, and the overall seating position is really, really good, especially for gaming specifically. The number 2 and the number 1 spot are probably the best for a gaming position. Now, adjustability here is fantastic, having height adjustability from 19 inches to 22.5 inches. Then it has a recline locking feature, so you can lock it at any position that you want back, and this is the best recline locking feature on the list. I will give a little spoiler, number 1 also has this feature, but it's better on this one. It's a little bit more solid. This also then has the leaning tension adjustment. And then to top it off, this has height adjustable armrest, which is fantastic to have to really dial in exactly where you want your arms to be when gaming on a mouse or keyboard, or even with a controller, although it is a little bit easier with a controller. So if you are a PC gamer, the adjustable armrests are incredibly nice to have. Now for color options, this includes black on black, gray on black, gray on white, and then black on white. Overall, a fantastic choice for tons of adjustability, great build quality, and a ton of long-term comfort for those long gaming marathons. All right, but before we jump into the number 1 spot, we have an honorable mention, which is not even a chair, but it's something that if you do get one of these chairs, I highly recommend. And this is the Ergofoam footrest. Coming in at around 40 bucks. This will also be linked below. This is absolutely imperative. I've actually continued on educating myself with the correct posture and seating positions, which is unbelievably important, especially for a generation, which is my generation, that we sit a lot of the time for long periods of time. To get away from chronic pain, one of the most important things is to have a footrest, something that you can rest your feet on. The correct position for seating is never to have your feet under the chair. Putting your feet on the base of the chair is not good for you. You do want your feet resting on something, having something under your feet in front of you. Now, the Ergofoam footrest obviously is a luxury item. You could probably get like a cardboard box and fill it with something, but if you do want something really, really nice, this is great. It has rubber on the bottom, so you can move it around fairly easily with your feet, but then when you have your feet on it, it doesn't move. It has 2 heights, so you can actually either decrease the height or increase the height depending on how long your feet are or where you want this to sit. And overall, it's just very high quality. It gives you some softness to put your feet on, but it's also very supportive. And if you do get tired of just resting your feet there, you can flip this around and use it as a rocker, which is pretty cool. All right, but now let's move on to the best budget gaming chair on Amazon. This comes from FlexiSpot. Coming in at a price tag of $184.99. I have had this chair for a long time, probably the longest time out of all of these, and well, it continues to impress me for the price. The build quality here is great with tons of dense plastic construction that was very well thought out and designed. There's not as much overall plastic as there was on the number 2 spot, but it doesn't need it. Now, rather than fabric or foam, this actually uses a mesh design, which is extremely breathable. So if you're ever gaming in a smaller room, or if you have something like a 30 series or a 40 series graphics card, or well, your room just gets hot. I know when I'm gaming long periods of time, the room gets very hot. The breathability of having a mesh chair is so unbelievably nice. When you sit in it, it's breathy and airy, while some of the other chairs that have more of the thicker foam seating can be more comfortable in terms of like plushness, but they don't have that breathability. Now next, the armrests are really sturdy. They don't even wiggle a little bit. Now they're also not hard plastic on the top, but it's a rubber-like material, so it doesn't hurt your elbows or arms when you rest on them. This also comes with a headrest, although I remove mine as I don't really like headrests on my desk chairs or gaming chairs. Now comfort here is awesome. The mesh not only feels great due to its breathability, but it balances the weight of your body really well and comfortably, allowing for those long gaming sessions without any fatigue. You also pair this with the footrest, and it's a very comfortable setup. Now the seat part also has this super soft, almost like silicone pad in the front of the chair. So the fronts of your legs under your knees never really get tired of being on the edge of that chair. This was actually directly copied, or I believe it was directly copied from the Herman Miller Aeron chair, which I also have. And that's a great thing because that's a, $1,600 chair. So this company obviously kind of copied that at literally a fraction of the price. So that's really nice that it passes on that design to the consumer of a more budget-friendly chair. Now the mesh on the backrest slightly stretches to your back when you lean back. Due to the design, it also gives you a little bit of a lumbar support. I absolutely love this chair for the comfort, especially long-term gaming sessions. The comfort on this for the money is great. Now adjustability here is also great, having height adjustability from 14.5 inches up to 19.5 inches. This has the lean tension, recline locking adjustability, although not quite as good as the number 2 spot, but it still has it. Multiple reclined locking functions, which is great. And then it has height adjustability for those armrests, which I will say are very solid armrests. The most solid feeling armrests on the list, which is strange because the design doesn't seem like they would be super solid, but these things are rock solid. Now, as far as color options, there is gray, black, blue, and green. So there you go. Overall, the best budget chair for gaming, especially for those long-term gaming sessions. Again, if you want to check out any of the 5 gaming chairs in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. And I will also have linked below the Ergo Foam footrest. I absolutely love that thing. Featured that in one of the videos just a little bit ago. And if you want some other accessories for your gaming desk, check out this video right there. That is a gaming accessory video to help elevate your entire gaming experience. Definitely recommend it. Check that one out right there. But with that, this is Consumer Tech Review. I'll see you guys in the next video.